downpours, citing the area's geography. And the country's Solicitor General and Justice Chief dismissed an upcoming judgment from the International Criminal Court on the Philippine drug war. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. Let's check in on the weather. Tropical Depression Dodong has maintained its strength as it crosses the province of Cagayan. At 2 p.m., Dodong was spotted in the vicinity of Sanchez Mira. It is packing wind speeds of up to 45 kilometers per hour with gustiness of up to 75 kilometers per hour. Dodong will remain a tropical depression as it continues to traverse mainland northern Luzon. It could reach tropical storm category by Saturday afternoon or evening as it heads to the West Philippine Sea. In Pag-asa's 2 p.m. bulletin, wind signal number 1 is still up over some parts of Luzon. These areas are being flashed on your screens right now. Meanwhile, the enhanced habagat could bring gusty conditions in some places, including Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Mimaropa, the Bicol region, Western Visayas, and other areas in northern and central Luzon. On the flip side, Pag-asa also considers Tropical Depression Dodong as a welcome treat to Philippine dams. In an interview with Radio 5, Pag-asa senior weather specialist Oy Pagulayan said, the rainfall brought by the weather disturbance will induce water, regardless if it goes directly to dams or just watersheds. She noted that tropical depressions are a critical factor in the reserves of some of the country's dams, with about 5% of annual rainfall in the country coming from typhoons.
Clarify, no, halimbawa po,
Sige po, ma'am.
halimbawa ay meron pong bumagsak na pag-ulan within the watershed, kahit hindi mismo doon po sa dam area, no? So meron pong time or lag time na tinatawag natin para bumaba itong mga tubig na ito papunta po doon sa pinaka dam area, no? So yun po. So yun po yung nakikita natin insan kahit hindi natin kagad makita yung epekto ng pag-ulan, pero kung creeping yung pagbaba ng tubig. So we could see also yung pag-increase or pagbaba, depende po kasi yan sa magiging utilization naman ng water doon sa reservoir.
On the other hand, these incessant rains were not good news for Metro Manila as they brought massive flooding. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, was not surprised. Special Operations Chief Bong Nebrija says flooding in Metro Manila is inevitable since some parts of the NCR are below sea level. This is why the agency is improving pumping stations in order to discharge more floodwaters in a shorter period of time. Nebrija added that garbage clogging drainages in Metro Manila is still the main cause of flooding.
Unfortunately, we cannot totally have flood-free Metro Manila considering that the elevation of Metro Manila is really below sea level. That's why we have all these 72 pumping stations to pump out the water out to Pasig River, which is in Manila Bay, which are really higher than the land base itself.
We're bringing you more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Philippines' Solicitor General has spoken out about the upcoming decision of the International Criminal Court on the Philippine government's appeal. Menardo Guevara said the Philippine government will simply continue its own investigation and prosecution in accordance with the country's legal system. The ICC is set to issue on July 18 its judgment on the Philippines' plea against the resumption of the investigation into the war on drugs. For his part, Justice Secretary Boying Remulla is dismissing the ICC's ruling, whatever it may be. Remulla reiterated that the ICC cannot enforce anything because the tribunal has no jurisdiction over Manila. The Justice Secretary has repeatedly said that ICC prosecutors are not welcome in the Philippines.
They can decide in The Hague, where the ICC is, but that does not affect us here. They cannot enforce anything that they want in our country because we are not members of the ICC. I don't see them coming into the country to do anything that they want to do.
Meanwhile, the Energy Regulatory Commission, or ERC, will be filing a motion for reconsideration after the Court of Appeals overturned its rejection of power rate hike petitions. While it called the CA's ruling as unfortunate and disconcerting, the ERC said that they remain committed to the rule of law in protecting consumers. The appellate court has ruled that the ERC acted with grave abuse of discretion when it junked the 2022 petitions of Meralco, South Premier Power Corporation, and San Miguel Energy Corporation for a rate hike of 30 centavos per kilowatt hour. Moving on to sports now, Gilas players are working double time in training as the FIBA World Cup draws near. Marty Bautista tells us more.
Gilas Pilipinas has returned to the hardcourt after only 2 days of rest from their training camp in Europe. Most members of the 20-man pool of the national team for the World Cup were present at the Meralco Gym Thursday. Bobby Ray Parks Jr., Calvin Oftana, and R.R. Pugoy also joined the training for the first time. Aside from the still injured Pugoy, Gilas members participated in a 2-hour-long drill session. Head coach Chot Reyes sees this as the team's final stretch in their preparations in order to iron out their team chemistry.
From now till then, it's a matter of making sure that we continue improving on the gains that we made in Europe and finally assimilating the others. Like today with Ray and Calvin here, then we were able to take their first step in joining and understanding everything that they missed in Estonia.
Naturalized player Justin Brownlee said the team gained much needed confidence after the Europe camp.
Each practice, it seemed like guys are getting very confident, shooting the ball, just playing together, trusting each other. It's great to see the growth, of the whole team.
Also part of the training was Dwight Ramos after getting clearance from his doctors following the release of his test results. Ramos was not able to suit up in Gilas' last few tune-up games in Europe due to a bugging knee injury. Scotty Thompson, meanwhile, did not join the training as he is still nursing a fractured hand. Thompson is set to see a hand specialist for the injury on Sunday.
The great thing about Scotty, he stayed positive. It seems like there still could be I'm not sure, but it seems like there still could be a possibility and that he's going to play in the World Cup. I'm not sure the timetable of his injury. Definitely wish him a speedy recovery.
Meanwhile, Gilas coaches said they have a steady line of communication with the camp of Phil-Am Utah Jazz guard Jordan Clarkson. JC just signed a contract extension with the Jazz a few weeks back.
We're trying to get him in as early as possible, and our hope is that he's able to join us for the China trip. And that's where we're at now. The talks are ongoing, so hopefully.
Gilas continues their nightly training until the first week of August before flying to China for a pocket tournament. For News 5, Marty Bautista, we are One News.
Still in basketball, Pinoy NBA hopeful Kai Soto finally saw some action in the NBA Summer League against the Portland Trail Blazers. Soto checked in for the Orlando Magic at the beginning of the second quarter before getting reinserted in the third. Soto finished with 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 blocks in 13 and a half minutes of play. Orlando, though, lost the game 88-71. Before this, the 7'3" big man had been benched in the first 3 matchups of the Magic.
I feel like it's a good first game, just to go out there and compete. It's not good that we didn't win, but we learned a lot from this game. I'm very happy to be here. It's a blessing each and every day to be out here and experiencing all of this, and I'm just happy to be supported by a lot of people.
Catch the day's latest stories tonight on The Big Story at 8 p.m. Only here on One News. Have a restful weekend, everyone. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News. All sides, all the time.